So this is Brutus. He is my sister's dog, one of 3 that she currently has. I don't really know my sister well because she was born several years after me. I'm just saying several because we don't do age math in this house anymore. And we didn't grow up in the same household, so I don't really have a lot of memories of her from childhood. And as she grew up, we both had separate things going on. But I do know that she is a wonderful mother, both to the 3 children that she ended up with in one fell swoop, and to the 3 furry children and her snake child as well. Brutus is between 11 and 12 years old, I think, right now. His hearing and eyesight are starting to diminish, but I have a feeling that he definitely hears treat and dinner a lot better than he hears bath or vet. He was a rescue when they got him. He was living in a truck because the man who had him, his wife, didn't like the dog. Brutus is a big cuddler, and he's also the emotional support animal for one of Krista's sons. Brutus is also a cancer survivor, and he doesn't bark very often at all. So when he was younger, he would often kind of surprise people by coming up in the yard, and suddenly there's this really large dog just standing by your side, like, what's going on, man? Which, being a large bully breed, a pit bull, an American Staffordshire Terrier, can be a little intimidating for some people, and probably more than one person was a little scared. But from all accounts, Brutus seems to be typical of the nanny breed stereotype and very much loves his family. And while I'm sure he would be protective if anyone tried to hurt any of his family, he's very much a laid back and just happy to be here kind of dog. Pit bulls as a breed are difficult to really pin down because pit bulls are really more of a mix of about 4 or 5 different breeds, known as the American Staffordshire Terrier, the American Pit Bull Terrier, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, American Bulldog can be part of that too, and the English Bull Terrier. Unfortunately, most of those breeds have at least some history in the pastime of bull baiting, where they would hold on to the bulls for bullfighting. And then when that practice was stopped, they were unfortunately brought into more cruelty with dog fighting rings. A lot of times dogs are just labeled pit bull for having a pit bull look with that short coat, kind of wide blocky head and a muscular build, but there can actually be just a mix of dog breeds that comes up with those same characteristics because genetics is amazing. And so those are all traits that all came from, different dogs that were bred to have those traits, but nature can come up with it too, right? So if you actually do a DNA test on some dogs that are labeled pit bulls, you might be surprised they don't have any of those 5 kind of stock breeds or very little of their DNA. Most of the pit bulls that I have known personally have been quite content with laying on the couch and being pet nonstop and having their bellies rubbed. So I started this on Mother's Day, and hopefully I'll have it done in time for my sister's birthday, because not that it's really a present for her birthday, but it would be nice to get it to her by then. I'm also sending over some zippers and clothing patterns because she started getting into sewing a little bit, and I already went through my phase of sewing, and I don't see myself starting that project again. So I'm passing some stuff on to her as I find it. I did buy some inexpensive frames for shipping these just to help protect the pictures until they get to their final destinations. They're plexiglass, so they're not going to break in transit, and they're just a simple black composite frame around the picture with some plexiglass, and that has really toned down my anxiety that I'm going to somehow wreck these pictures between the time I finish them and they get to the person they're going to. I would love to go to some thrift stores and pick out some custom fancy frames, something a little more unique, but that's just not where I am health-wise right now. And I guess the recipients should be able to decide to choose what frame they want in their house. I guess it's not all up to me. But with these little frames, at least if they want, they can just hang it up immediately, or, they can change out the frame to something that they like better, or they can do both and just wait until they find a frame they like better. There's no rules. You can change out a frame at any time and, change up the look of your artwork. I initially chose to do some charcoal drawings because I had these charcoal tablets and the charcoal pencils, and they were just sitting there brand new waiting to be used. But then when it came time to actually use it, I had to go buy some compressed charcoal because it just felt wrong not to be using the charcoal sticks. And so even though I already had the stuff on hand, I still had to do more shopping because there's always something else you can buy. I also bought some fixative spray to help keep the charcoal in place. It is what they call a workable fixative, so I can spray in different layers if I remember to do that. So I've sprayed twice, and hopefully that's enough. So my sister does have 3 dogs altogether. She's got Thor, Freya, and Brutus, and she chose Brutus for this drawing. But she is my sister, so chances are she'll end up with a full set if that's what she wants. She says Thor is a bit of a spaz, Freya is a lazy cow, and Brutus is the cuddle bug. My next video will probably be a charcoal of a mallard duck family that I've been itching to start on, which is kind of funny because Krista just told me that one of her daughter's favorite animals is mallard ducks. I've been kind of in tune with their family, I think, with Krista's birthday coming up and doing this picture of Brutus and Krista's son's graduation coming up too. So it's kind of funny that I just happened to choose one of her daughter's favorite animals for the next picture. I did finish this before her birthday, so Krista, if you're watching this, either before or after your birthday or on your birthday, I hope you have or have had the happiest of birthdays. I hope you have happy every day because you deserve it. Having his legs extend outside of the viewing area of the picture for both front and back was kind of a composition choice, I think. Really paid off here because the reference photo didn't have his legs extending all the way to the paws for the front legs, but I think there's a little balance with keeping the back legs too. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Follow, like, subscribe, all that junk. Here's Brutus inside a shipping frame. Have a great day.